Hour. I'm Ned Case. It was a bye week last week for the Golden Bears. Back at it tonight, taking on the Rutland Hurricanes, traveling up from Macon. And this is a Holy Innocents team. Started the season 1-0. Had some good mojo going. Went and played Hebron Christian, a really good team done. I think they're flying under the radar in the Class A private classification.
Yeah, I told you beforehand what Coach Winter told them after the Hebron game was very fitting. And we got beat 38-14. And he said, you know, our goals are still in front of us. We're not 0-2. We're 1-1. We just have to learn how to handle success and play every week and learn how to play every single Friday. And I think we'll see if those words stuck in about 10 minutes. But anyway, I thought he spoke very well after a disappointing, not necessarily a loss, but what the final score was.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, you mentioned it, 38-14. They gave up nearly 300 passing yards to a pretty dynamic passing game that we saw out of Hebron Christian. Now, we look at the Rutland Hurricanes, the team that's struggling. They were 0-9 last year, 0-2 on the season so far. They're looking for their first win since September of 2016. This Holy Innocents team doesn't want to let that happen. They want that good mojo. They want to get that rhythm back that they had in week 1.
And plus, this is our home opener.
Yep.
We got a lot of special events going on. Therefore, we got more with the exception of homecoming. This could be one of our most well-attended home games.
Yep.
And then, and you kind of called it. It was almost like preseason. We had those 2 non-region games, we had an off game, and now we're getting back for a big stretch here. We open region next week at Eagles Landing, which is always a test for every school in the state when you go play Eagles Landing. But it'd be good to get some momentum before we go down there and get a little confidence back.
Absolutely, and as the captains get ready to meet at midfield, cool to see the Holy Innocents captains with some of these youngsters out here getting on the field. But we'll take a look at head coach Todd Winter. Coach Winter in his second season here with the Golden Bears, 3-7 last year. This year, 1-1, getting this program back on track where it needs to be. And you've said just in the school you could feel the difference, whether it's a football team or just the energy around it.
Yeah, he came in immediately, and it's his personality. He brought in a couple of assistants. We got some good existing assistants. But the kids just bought in immediately to what he's all about. And even last year, 3-7, this was a team that played till the end of every single game. And it showed. They did it last week. You know, we scored late. And he just got the kids. He put them in the weight room over the off season more so. They're bigger, bigger, faster, and stronger. I said that 2 weeks ago. And also with the 62 kids on the roster, it's next man up. We got a little bit of depth. And last year we had freshmen and sophomores playing both ways, and it wore us down after a while.
And this Rutland Hurricanes team is led by head coach Mark Daniel. You know, they're a little bit like Holy Innocents was last year. They got some youngsters out there. They're still learning how to play. They took a lump in last week's 62-17 loss to Houston County. Granted, that's a 6A school, so they were playing up a classification. Holy Innocents is playing up. Rutland, a 3A school. They're playing out of Region 4 and done. You know, for the power rankings, you know, it's good to play these teams. It's better to beat these teams.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was talking to Coach Winter before the season. He said it's a different ball game now because every game is equally as important. Used to be it was all about region. All about getting a good region seed. Now, no matter who you play, where, home or away, with the power ranking, you beat a AAA team, you get some good points. So this is just as big as when we go to Eagles Landing next week.
And Coach Winter, he loves challenging these guys. We mentioned it in the last broadcast, how he's getting his JV playing St. Pius and you know, whoever, you know, upper classifications will take on this Holy Innocents team. He's ready to put his guys to the test. And, you know, before the game gets underway, they break through the tent. We got a second to look at our Ed Voiles Automotive Group keys to the game. These are keys, if you've watched the broadcast, they're going to sound familiar. You got to limit the penalties. Something both games has hurt them. Protect the football, and you got to win that field position battle, especially in the kicking game.
And I think being game 3, the penalties we really got to straighten out. You know, we were flagged 12 times in the opener. I don't know the total yardage. And we were flagged a pretty good amount last 2 weeks ago also.
Enough to stall some drives.
Enough to stall some drives. And I think well, it's week 4, but week 3 for us. I think hopefully that'll be a key that we get fixed tonight. Had a lot of Taekwon had a couple really good runs against Hebron, and both of them came back. You know, you got to get a little frustrated about that.
Hunter Hawk got the hammer this week. It was Jack Felton the week before. Bring some energy to this team. And you know, Hunter Hawk, it's a guy we've highlighted. But, you know, one thing you know, we talk about the depth and offensively with the running backs, the depth that we see, you know, between him and Cox, and then Felton and Vincent and Alexander and Padgett. We've seen Kennard Henry. There's so much depth there with the offensive backfield, and Matt Davis has done a great job. You always mention how valuable it was him getting time last year.
Yeah, and also all this takes pressure off Michael Cox. Last year he gained over 1,000 yards in 9 games, but it was pretty much he was the workhorse.
Yep.
And then you can take the pressure off of him. And I think as soon as we can get our wide receivers, get them a few catches under their belt, spread out the defense a little more, and that'll help it even better.
And also something on the other side of the football, defensively, that we've seen different from last year is now Holy Innocents playing a 4-2-5 on defense as opposed to that 3-3-5. And the 2 linebackers, Graham Collins, who led the team in tackles last year, and Hunter Hawk, I mean, they've been all over the field. It almost feels like they have a 3rd linebacker out of the way those 2 covered ground.
That's 2 big names right there. You know, Graham always comes up with the big stops. Quiet kid, but good athlete, plays hard. We talk about Hunter on both, you know, and Graham caught the touchdown pass last week, and I almost had another one.
You're right.
And then Hunter Hawk, you know, we can't say enough about him, offense or defense. He had a touchdown. He scored our other touchdown last week, and then he had a couple in the opener at Mount Pisgah.
Hawk with 3 rushing touchdowns on the year. Davis has thrown a touchdown pass in each game, and you know, defensively also in the back end, Taquan Alexander, he's got 2 interceptions, you know, an interception each game this year, so he's been roaming back there.
And he's got the speed.
Yep, no doubt about that.
The speed. So if you can get a little green in front of him, a little bit of room. We saw that at Pisgah.
Yes, he had a rushing touchdown, I believe, almost 50 yards.
Yep.
Took off down the sideline. So Holy Innocents kicking this one off. Blake Dobbs getting the ball teed up on the left hash on the far side.
Now Blake Dobbs has rarely had one return this year. He's been, I probably jinxed him again the way I always do, but in the first 2 games, he's been putting it back there.
And he was banged up a little bit in those first 2 games from playing on the lines, but he was kicking. And Dobbs going to put his big right foot into this one. That one looks like it is going to get into the end zone, and it does. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20 for the Rutland Hurricanes. Again, out of Macon, Georgia, 3A classification team. 0-2 this year. They've been outscored almost 90 to 24. So they're really looking to turn something around, see if this drive up 75 can bring any change in result for this Hurricane team. Looks like under center is going to be number 9, Christian Fisher. Fisher, a senior, 2 backs in the backfield, and Fisher's going to give it off the right side, having a little bit of room, and tripped up there. That was Tyson Royal on the carry, number 33.
Had a hole right side. You could see that right off the bat. I'm going to imagine in a 3A school, they probably have some beef on the offensive line.
They do. The offensive line, not the tallest line, but plenty of size up there. Going to be a run-heavy game in this one. No receivers. Everybody in a 3-point stance here for Rutland. And again, looks like it's going to be Tyson on the carry. And he's going to be taken down at the line of scrimmage. I believe that was Tyson. It may have been 18, Otto Foreman on the carry.
There you go, Hunter Hawk and Graham Collins on the tackle. There you go.
This Hurricane team is so bunched on offense.
It's hard
to pick them apart here. But again, it's the senior Fisher quarterback facing this 4-2-5 defense of Holy Innocents. A little bit of confusion there. Gets the ball off. It's going to be 1st down yardage. Again, that was 34 on the carry. Jesse Phelps.
Jesse Phelps Jr. on the carry for the Hurricanes.
So 1st down there for Rutland. And so far, it's just been running in between the tackles for this Hurricanes offense.
Yeah, they've had good luck twice off their right tackle.
A little bit of confusion in the backfield as one of the linemen for Holy Innocents busted through. Now Rutland's bringing a man in motion. Going to be a pass here. Corner route, little bit of collision, and there comes the flag. as Fisher was looking for, it looked like 15, Derek Sneed on the corner route there, and feet just got tangled up and the flag came out.
Flag down on the play.
Play action set up well after, I think, five consecutive runs in between tackle. Little dummy motion, fake handoff. And we'll see what they call it. You know, they could pick it up if they say the feet just got tangled.
That's my vote. Not that that counts.
And
nope.
it is going to be pass interference,
Yeah,
so it'll be 15 yards and a second first down of this opening drive here for Rutland as they're closing in on crossing the midfield line and getting into Bear territory.
Hey. Oh, sorry. My bad. I forget there's a microphone in front of my face.
Dunn, a popular public figure here at Holy Innocents games. They play their home games here at Riverwood Stadium. Just a mile or two down the road from the campus. Handoff up the middle. It's Phelps. Nice tackle there. Was that was Hunter Hawk?
Hunter Hawk.
Couldn't tell if it was Hawk or Collins.
Gain of 3.
So 3-yard pickup there. Again, that was Phelps on the carry. So we've seen Royal, Phelps with carries.
I'm glad to see they just turned the lights on. It's dark by 8 o'clock now, and I was about to say it's getting reasonably dark at not even 7:40 yet.
It may not feel like fall, but and up the middle, looking for room, nowhere to go. Fisher was on the carry. Nice tackle there on the defensive line. That was 66, Tyler White.
Tyler White.
See on the replay, Tyler White just shedding his man right away. He might have beat a double team there. Meeting of the line of scrimmage, bringing up the 3rd and long. It's the longest third down Rutland's had of the game. Chance here for the Bears defense to force a punt. See if Rutland goes to the air. They split out the single receiver. That's Derek Sneed. He was the intended target on the only pass we've seen so far from Fisher. Fisher's going to throw again, dropping back, looks for Sneed, throws the out route. It's short. A late flag comes in.
Oh, God.
And I'm not sure. I think they're going to get a roughing the passer.
Yep, sure are. Sure. I was about to comment on we had a good pass rush. We hurried the quarterback, which we didn't do a lot last 2 weeks ago, but I guess we
on the replay, it didn't look like too much unnecessary, but if anybody in Atlanta watched the Falcons game last night, you know how those calls can go.
Down to our 35.
So almost 3 minutes in, and Rutland's closing in on the red zone. They get one more first down. They'll be right on that, right near that 20-yard line. Excuse me, the ball's on the 35, not the 30. 9:01 as a little breeze comes through. 3 receivers now for Rutland. First time we've seen this. Shotgun for Fisher. Fisher takes the snap, looking left to his trip side. Pass deflected. Almost caught. Hunter Hawk got his hand in the passing lane. Derek Sneed almost caught it off the deflection. Nice job there of Hawk dropping back into his zone coverage role.
On the coverage was number 13, Taekwon Alexander.
Taekwon.
That's going to bring up the 2nd and 10 at the Bears 35.
Hawk gets his big left hand on the ball, and Alexander almost had a chance at an interception off the tip. That may have been Tyler Rowe on the far side, one of the youngsters on this year's team. Fisher throwing right, has a man. It's caught there, 18 Otto Foreman. And he's tackled about 5 yards short of the first down marker, bringing up 3rd and 5. Michael Cox is going to check into the game at defensive end.
Brought down by number 27, Graham Collins. And 19, Will Maxwell. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 for the Hurricanes.
3rd and 5 here for the Hurricanes. They're going to go 3 receivers again, 2 to the right. Bottom of the screen, Sneed's the single receiver. And it's going to be a handoff, not a lot of room, trying to cut back, nowhere to go in the middle. Big stand by the defensive line.
And no flags on the field. So let's see what Rutland's going to do here.
They're right kind of in between, and it feels like a 4 down where you're going to go for it here as Sam Aiken checks in.
I did my homework on Blake Dobbs, by the way, our kicker. 54 yards is as long as field goal in practice. So I know we were talking about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, that means you get to the 35, and potentially
it's doable.
You're in that range. So here goes Rutland, 4th and 6.
Get to him.
Screen pass up the middle. It's caught, and it's going to depend on the spot. Looks like the official on the far side.
Depends on which official.
Yeah,
it depends on which official they listen to.
It was Jesse Phelps on the middle screen there, and they're going to say first down. Looks like all they needed was the nose of the football on the 25, and they got it. Good play call there out of the Rutland coaching staff.
Yeah, it was.
Caught Holy Innocents in a big-time pass rush situation as White's going to check back in for Aiken. You see the difference there. White a little more of a run stopper on the defensive line. Aiken more of a speed pass rusher.
Yeah, Aiken's quick off the ball. Like I said, he's a wrestler, so he's used to coming off the crouch and firing.
We see plenty of him at tight end on the offensive end. Motion here. It's going to be a jet sweep, trying to get out wide, and it's going to pick up about 5 yards. I think a holding is going to bring this one back. Foreman on the jet sweep there, but it's going to come back for a hold, I'm pretty sure. And it is hold on Rutland. Looked like it happened about a yard past the line of scrimmage.
Holding on the Hurricanes. Going to back them up 10, bring up 1st and 20 for the Hurricanes.
So first kind of break here for this Holy Innocents defense as the penalty backs up Rutland. Chance for Holy Innocents to again get a stop here. And it feels again like 4-down territory. Maybe Rutland gets inside the 20, 25. They could be kicking field goals, but they seem wanting touchdowns. Pass over the middle, caught, tripped up near the original line of scrimmage. Pickup of about 11 there. Jack Felton came up on the tackle.
Jack Felton was one of our many heroes at Mount Pisgah, both sides of the ball.
Had a rushing and receiving touchdown.
And led the tackling.
Yep, absolutely. He's one of those 3 roaming safeties. It's him, Bo Maxwell, and Alexander, the corners row. And number 4, Leighton Dixon. Pass again for Fisher. He kind of lost his footing as he tried to step into that one. Intended target Sneed, who early in the game is becoming a favorite target of Fisher.
I think the key, kind of like it was 2 weeks ago, we got to put some pressure on the quarterback. Their quarterback 2 weeks ago did such a good, accurate job. He would split 3 of our cornerbacks. And I think if we can hurry this guy a little bit, the 2 times we have, his passes have been well off the mark.
We mentioned it against Hebron Christian. Holy Innocents gave up 294 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, so they're looking to clean that up. Rutland trying to take advantage. There's the
there it is.
Middle screen. They got the man, though. Middle of the field, trying to make Alexander miss. Tripped up just short of the goal line. That was Tyson Royal, his first touch since the opening play from scrimmage.
Number 33.
And they got the pressure, but the drag across, and a little bit of miscommunication there as it looked like 2 guys went with the back into the flat. Nobody went with the crosser. And Alexander, the safety, made the touchdown-saving tackle, but nice opening drive here for Rutland. They've taken 6 minutes off the clock, and they're a yard away from punching in. Hand off up the middle. Phelps is in for 6 for Rutland as they get on the board from 1 yard out. Jesse Phelps.
They showed a little versatility there. They ran the first, like you said, the first 5 plays. But this is going to be one of those quick games because we run the ball too. And then they threw it pretty much every down except 1, I believe. They had 3 3rd and 5s and 1 4th and 5 on the drive. And they used up 6:16 on the clock. So that was impressive.
So Oscar Music, the kicker, puts his big left foot into that. Was a pretty impressive leg. He may have some range on field goals.
On the kick.
So an opening drive of 6 minutes and 16 seconds. Over 10 plays, drove the ball 80 yards. An impressive start for this Rutland Hurricanes team traveling from Macon. And when you make that trip up, that's the kind of start you want to a game like this.
And that's why I think our offense needs to answer, give our defense some rest. The sun's still a little up. It's a little warm outside. Need to get the defense on the bench for about 6 minutes of their own.
Yep.
answer that drive. A penalty-free drive. Here we go.
Yes. So Paget and Kadar Henry back deep to return. There's been some nice gains out of the kickoff return unit this year. Gotten up to the 40-yard line a couple times, broken a couple across the 50. So they seem to be maybe a block or two away from really breaking one.
Yeah, we've got some speed back there. Even in our short backs, we talked about little Sam Barton up there, got some speed. And then the Harrison Paget, great athlete. We've talked about Taekwon speed. And a
low liner that's going to go in. Good decision there by Paget to not try to take that off some crazy hop. So Matt Davis, the junior quarterback, will lead this Golden Bears offense for their opening drive, starting at the 20-yard line. This is a team last year that averaged 26 points per game on the offensive end. Looking to improve on that. When they get clicking, I mean, we saw 42 points against Pisgah. And that was even with, like we said, over 100 yards and penalty yards in that game. So Davis will start with Hunter Hawk directly behind him. Vinchalev with a little dummy motion, and they'll check to Coach Winter, see if they change anything up. 4-3 here for Rutland. Bring their safeties up into the box. Hunter Hawk carries off tackle, spins away from the first contact, still moving forward, and he's going to pick up a first down on the carry. Hunter Hawk, 11 yards.
That was impressive after the first hit. He got hit at +2, and he ended up with +11. His legs never stopped churning. I didn't see the replay.
You can see it there. The white pile keeps moving. So Collins at tight end here at the bottom of the screen. And it's going to be Hawk again up the middle, breaking free. He's crossing the 45, cuts it outside, gets a block. He stutter step late, flag comes in. And Hawk is going to be taken out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. And I think they're going to get a block in the back on the receiver. And that's going to be a tough one. Tough one to live with for Coach Winter. See on the replay, it's tough. It looked like the Rutland defender kind of put on the brakes when Hawk made a move, and unfortunate, but the refs are going to say in the back is in the back. It takes away it. Almost 50-yard run for Hunter Hawk. The flag was thrown about the 40-yard line, 45 of Rutland. So if it's 5 yards from that, it would still be a first down. There's 2 flags now I see on the field. And here comes the call from the official. I think it was a block in the back call there.
Calls a blindside block on the Bears. It's going to back them up.
Yeah, it is. That one hurt.
So it's going to be 15 yards from the spot of the foul, so it'll repeat first down. So an odd thing we've seen a couple times this year, like some 1st and 6s and 1st and 7s and some all kinds of interesting first downs with just too many penalties for this Bears offense.
All right, but we've seen 2 open holes and Hunter Hawk doing some good running, and we got plenty of backs. So a lot of good things. We just got to smooth it out a little bit.
Now it's Cox finding some room off tackle. He's going to be tackled right near the first down marker. The official on the far side has him short by about a half a yard. So Cox picks up 6 on that carry. 2nd and short here. 2nd and short, sometimes at time when Coach Winter tries some either misdirection or some play action, so we'll see if they do anything there. Ronnie Williams, the receiver, splits out of the bottom of the screen. Davis gets the call from Winter and communicates with the offense. It's going to be up the middle with Cox. He's driving forward. He's got a first down. Nice gain there, 5 yards for Cox. And the sticks move for Holy Innocents, their 2nd first down of the game, and they're looking to cross midfield for the first time on their opening drive.
There you go.
Before he gets another Bears.
Moving the ball, resting the defense.
Yep.
Offensive line looks like they're coming off the ball down there.
Hawk checks in, as does Landon Cardian, someone we haven't seen yet this year, but saw last year. Saw him do some kicking. He's playing receiver, basketball player as well.
Yeah, he's a good little athlete, only a sophomore.
Yep. Good size, listed at 6'4", 190, and here's a delay of game. So penalties, again, early the case here for this Golden Bears offense. Something you know Coach Winter did not want to deal with after that bye week. You know it had to be a point of emphasis.
Right.
Nice crowd filling up here in the home opener, as Dunn mentioned. This whole middle section pretty full. Student section filling up. Handoff up the middle. It's going to be Hawk. Close to the original line of scrimmage. Oh, no, we got official spotting him way different. The official on the near side has him right for a gain of 1.
Brought down by number 56, Logan Moss of the Hurricanes. Looks like it's a gain of 1 on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 13. So
2nd and 13 here for the Golden Bears offense as we approach 3 minutes in our opening quarter. Rutland went down and scored on their opening drive, chewing up just over half the quarter. Hawk in the backfield, Vincilette in motion, Davis on the midline. Looked like a keeper all the way, and he gets just past the original line of scrimmage. So 3rd and 10. And now we'll see what Coach Winter's thinking, if he's thinking we got to pick it up in 10 or punt, or if it's 2 down territory.
You know, he's not scared to roll the dice.
Absolutely. Haven't seen much to the edge yet in this opening drive. Mostly been the fullbacks and Davis on that last carry. Hardy and the receiver split out wide. Graham Collins tied in here at the bottom. It is going to be a pass by Davis. Rolling. Now he's trying to find some room. Running away from the defense, showing off a little speed. Keeps his head up, picks up a big block. Vincilette. A little miscommunication.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Vincilette was trying to work back. Davis wanted him to work deep. And it'll bring up a punting situation here for the Golden Bears. Great job there by Davis, and we've seen it a couple times this year. Escaping pressure, staying or keeping the play alive. Picked up a nice block there, but
you said it right. Davis was signaling him to go long. Vincilette saw him in trouble, so he was coming in to help him, and the two didn't mix.
As a receiver, you're taught do one or the other. Like we said, not on the same page there.
Yeah, no blame. I mean, they didn't have any time to think that up.
Absolutely. So Marshall Nichols will come on to punt.
I know he averaged 41 yards a punt after week 1. I didn't hear his numbers.
And it's going to be a fake. It's a little bit of a pop pass, and we're going to have an interference call as they never let the DB get off, and there it is. I think that's the right call. Williams was trying to get off the line, and it was a pass, and they blocked him downfield.
We just said he rolls the dice.
Yep, yes. Very good call. It's the second time we've seen a direct snap to Maxwell for a fake punt. He kept the first one. This one he was throwing. And it's 15 yards no matter what, I believe, on interference calls.
I'll also repeat what I said 2 weeks ago, that I would hate to coach against Coach Winter because you just don't know what he's going to do.
Throw all traditional calls out the window.
Right. You just tell your defense to get ready. And
so a break here on the other end as Rutland picks up the penalty there. Pass interference on the fake punt to keep this drive alive as there's 2:17 to go here in our opening quarter. Cardi and the receiver here at the bottom of the screen. Graham Collins gets a breather here as the other tight end, Will Scone.
Shane is
Shane.
how they say it, yes.
Excuse me.
It's spelled that way. I messed that up too the first day I called roll. But he corrected me.
Hand off, keeper by Davis, looking for a little bit of room, stays up, huge block by Vincilette, and Davis is in. I see a flag on the field.
Oh my God.
Because, of course, but we'll see what it is. As of now, Davis scampering 41 yards on the keeper. It could be a hands to the face on the defensive line. It was thrown right near the line of scrimmage. It was a big block, but it was certainly legal in the middle of the field, and Davis showing some speed there, but here comes, it's going to be a face mask on Rutland is the early indication.
And when you said what you said many times in 2 years, great block by Vince Gillette.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's like a common comment that we hear at least a couple times a game.
If you're playing Holy Innocents football powered by SUV TV bingo, put that one on the card.
Put that one on there. And not really a big kid.
Right, yep.
He just knows how to use what he has and comes up with some good blocks.
We'll see it one more time here. The keeper, Vince Gillette, was the man in motion and just gets out in front, finds somebody, and I mean, that really was the key block. That gave Davis the space, and he was untouched from there on out. 41 yards. Davis, his first rushing touchdown of the season.
And he did show speed because it looked like two kids had the angle on him, and he just went right up the seam and got it in there.
So Dobbs on for the extra point. Davis puts the hold down. And he missed it. Looked like he pushed it wide. So it's going to be 7-6. But each team getting in the end zone.
No. Nope.
So each team putting their opening drive in the end zone. Holy Innocents taking about 2 minutes less than Rutland did. And Rutland's ready to get the ball back. Their kickoff return unit's right on the field.
Well, our offense just did what they had to do. You know, they ran off 4:20 or so. I'm not a math guy, 4:36 or something like that. That's close, which is good for me. But they gave, they got some first down. The penalties, at least the defense got good rest. So now and the defense looked good the first time. They just had the third down and 5, the pass interference, the roughing the passer, and then Rutland converted on that 4th and 5 with that pretty good pass.
So 2 points I'll make. The first one you mentioned, the defense getting that rest, not only to get the win back, but for the coaches to kind of say, here's what happened. Here's some adjustments. The other thing, the face mask is added to the kickoff, so a short kickoff here. We'll see. We saw a lot of those pooch kicks last year. See if they can't pin Rutland deep or maybe get a fortunate bounce. We'll see what Dobbs does. Now, that's going to be a no-doubter, and that one will go through the uprights.
He kicked it to North Springs, basically. Well, no doubt he's got the leg from there.
Absolutely. So a touchback in Rutland will start their second drive on the 20-yard line again. 2:10 in the opening quarter left. Touchdown for each team. So the senior Christian Fisher led this offense down, like we said, 80 yards in the first 5 or 6 plays were tight formation, run off tackle. Then once they crossed midfield, they spread it out. Saw 3 receivers.
It's like they threw out the playbook or fired their offensive coordinator and another guy came in. It's totally different.
But again, they're going to start with the tight formation. Sneed, the only receiver, split out. He's here at the bottom of the screen, man in motion. A little bit of a counter play. There's Phelps. He had the touchdown run, but he's only going to pick up a few there. Graham Collins in on the tackle. Nope, excuse me, Hunter Hawk. Nope, excuse me, Jack Felton.
There you go. Well, any one of those 3 is a pretty good guess.
22, 27, 21. They all got the sleeves on. So Felton coming up there, making a nice play, 3-yard gain from his safety spot. So 2nd and 7. Now they go back to the 3 receiver and shotgun look here for Rutland. So they're really showing multiple offensive sets. Fisher the shotgun, dropping back over the middle.
Wow, he was open.
And I think he trapped it. He did. It was close. Maxwell got a little bit turned around there.
Pass falls incomplete.
He had a man. He had a man. But 3rd and 7, big play here.
So there on the replay, good pressure there by the defensive line, making Fisher throw that maybe a step or 2 before he wanted to. So 3rd and 7, ball pretty deep in Rutland territory. Chance for Coach Winter and his defense to flip the field here if they can get a stop and force a punt. Tight formation. And we're going to have flags. It'll be a false start, making this even more difficult.
No, they're going
offsides. Excuse me. So somebody lined up in the neutral zone. Now will make this easier for the Hurricanes as it brings up a 3rd and 2. Coach Mark Daniels sends in the play call. Coach Daniel working with the young team, says they're starting to understand the schemes, but that was a lot of their preseason. Now they're 2 games in, looking for their first win since the 2016 season. It's going to be a keeper by Fisher, trying to get to the end, has a block, has a first down, and swung out of bounds there as Graham Collins threw out the senior quarterback, but not before he picked up a first down.
Carried by number 9.
Nice naked play here on the replay. Good edge block, and there you see 3 white jerseys getting out and setting up an edge for the quarterback.
Number 13, Taekwon Alexander.
So Alexander finally pushed him out of bounds after Collins swung him around. So ball on the 39-yard line here for Rutland. First down would put him basically in Holy Innocents territory. And it's going to be a little bit of reverse, well played there. Hunter Hawk meeting the second ball carry at the line of scrimmage there. Has ended up with that ball on the carry, I believe was 16, McDonald.
Loss of 3 on the play, brought down by number 22, Hunter Hawk.
So misdirection there.
And it is raining. We've got some rain.
Here comes some rain. I knew there was some weather predicted in the forecast as the crowds start to move. Rutland and their tight formation looking for the jet sweep and nowhere to go. Huge hit. Graham Collins blasts the ball carrier for another loss, and it'll bring up a 3rd and long. As the rain is scaring some off, but rejuvenating the student section, it looks like. As they're getting up, big 3rd down here for this Golden Bears defense. Third and 13 here. Clock winding down. 5-4. We'll see if they get this snap off. They will not. We'll see if any officials, and the official did notice at the bottom of the screen that the clock expires. That'll be the end of our opening quarter as the rain starts to fall here. As Holy Innocents trails Rutland 7-6 after 12 minutes of play. We'll be back here on SUV TV's coverage of Holy Innocents Golden Bears football.
Got it.
Welcome back. Second quarter action here for Holy Innocents football's home opener, playing at Riverwood High School here at Hoskins Stadium. And Holy Innocents has a chance to get off the field here, at least force a punt situation. They can hold Rutland. Again, Rutland on their side of the 50 has been pretty conservative with these run calls.
Yeah, they have. And all of a sudden they spread it out, 3 receivers.
It's like they have an offensive coordinator when they got the ball, and then on the other side they have another offensive coordinator.
Right, something like that.
So tight formation here. In the backfield, it's Jesse Phelps. He had the touchdown run, and that looked like a false start there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Should make it a 3rd and like 18 or so.
And what you would think is an obvious pass situation, unless Rutland wants again an offsides.
On us.
So we talked about those Ed Voiles Automotive Group keys to the game, and the penalties are number 1 on that list, and it's really hurting Holy Innocents how they took advantage of a Rutland penalty and scored the touchdown on that drive, but not doing themselves any favors on the defense. They have 2 offsides calls on this drive alone. So 3rd and 8 here for Rutland. Sneed splits out wide. Phelps in the backfield. And it's going to be a pass. Throws the out route, and it's intended for a Royal, but over his head. And it'll be 4th and 8, and we'll see if Rutland starts moving their putt team on the field, and they do. So nice discipline there by the back end of Holy Innocents, not biting on the play action fake. Linebacker underneath, safety over the top in coverage there.
That was good. That was big. Good stand by the defense.
Harrison Paget back to return this punt. He looks a little bit confused, not sure where to stand. I don't know if they know what kind of leg the punter has. I believe that's Music, his big left foot. That's a nice punt. Paget's going to field it at the 20-yard line. He's got a man to beat, and he's going to use his speed to get to the far side. Cuts up field, 35-yard line, drag down at the 37. Harrison Paget with a nice return there of right around 17 yards.
Pretty good field position. Offense looked good first time they had the ball.
Paget showing that speed, getting to the edge. Made a guy or two miss. Good pursuit there by the return team. So Matt Davis, after his 41-yard touchdown scamper on the opening drive, Coach Winter's going to call a timeout, and they're going to throw the flag instead, and he's not happy with the miscommunication. 12 guys broke the huddle there for Holy Innocents.
Yep.
So that'll be a 5-yarder. They saw Graham Collins try to run off. Coach Winter tried to call the timeout. And now Coach Winter and the coaching staff trying to figure out where the miscommunication happened. And we'll see if they may be discussing giving Coach Winter the timeout, but I think the flag will take precedent. As
I'm kind of with that fan. Get on with it, you know.
having a discussion, getting their TV time.
I guess so.
And they do wave it off.
Okay, they do wave it off.
No flag, no timeout called.
Okay, let's play.
So one sideline happy about it, the other not as happy. Either way, 1st and 10, ball still on the 37-yard line. Vincilette and Felton, the A-backs, Cox the B-back. Cardi and the receiver here at the bottom of the screen. Felton in motion, they give it right up the middle of Cox. Cox has room, bounces off a couple tacklers, and taken down from behind, but a gain of 8 on his carry. So 2nd and 2, so it's been the tackles, off the tackles all day so far.
Yeah, with success.
Nothing to the edge exactly, but having success, why get away from it?
Yeah.
Couple carries by Cox, Hawk, and a couple by Davis, including, as we mentioned, the touchdown run. Vincilette in motion. Davis keeps it. Here comes the triple. Davis cuts upfield, has some room, looking to beat the defenders again. Davis has the speed. Is not dragged down at the 8-yard line, but a huge run there for Matt Davis, as that one covered almost 60 yards. Davis has that lane. A Hurricane defender caught between the quarterback and the pitch man. Davis made him pay and just tripped up there inside the 10. I thought he might beat 2 defenders again to the end zone.
He's
56-yard run there.
He's close to 100 yards already.
Yep. So 56 yards on that carry. 41 on his touchdown run, and now a timeout is going to be called. We'll take a quick timeout with him here on SUV TV's coverage of Holy Innocents Golden Bears football. And we're out of the timeout. Here's Holy Innocents has the ball on the 9-yard line, 8-yard line, 1st and goal, after Matt Davis just took off for 56 yards on a triple option. So we mentioned a brief rain came through, but only about maybe 3 or 4 minute shower, and then it passed pretty quick. Right in between the 1st and 2nd quarters as Cox busts through 4-6. 9 yards out. Michael Cox scores his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season, and Coach Winter puts his hands up. They're going to keep the offense on and go for 2. As again, it's just been in between those tackles and really a lot right off tackle. That's resulting in success for this offense.
He hadn't had to break out the fancy part of the playbook on our first 2 possessions. Right tackle, left tackle.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
So we'll see what kind of 2-point play they have drawn up here. Cardi and the receiver tight to the formation here on the near side. And I mean, they're just going to give it to Cox off the middle because why not? It's been successful all game so far. So 2-point conversion is good. And that makes the score 14-7 in favor of the Golden Bears. So, Don, you talked about that much-needed break for the defense. They got their breath back, made an adjustment or 2, and the offense kept doing what they've been doing for, 2 games really, minus the last game. And even the last game, it was a little bit like last season where they could drive the ball. They just didn't finish 2 or 3 drives.
Yeah, they had a drive last year where they took the whole quarter. And then against Pisgah in the 3rd quarter, Pisgah had the ball for 3 plays. And then we ran out the final, 10 minutes and scored on the first play of the 4th quarter. So we have an offense. If we've got a lead, we can kill clock.
No doubt about that, and especially the way they're running between tackles right now.
It's just when we get down, we have to throw and do. I'm not saying what we can throw.
Right.
It's just we'd rather be in a position where we could use all those backs.
Right. And when they're the best in the passing game, it's when the rush game is setting up.
Right. I mean, Davis has got a good arm. He showed it to Graham Collins last week.
And even just scrambling away in that first quarter.
That's right.
So here goes Dobbs. This one at the normal spot on the 40. Dobbs is going to get that in. For a second, I thought it wasn't going to go in. But it was to the V in Riverwood in the end zone. Again, the home opener here for Holy Innocents at Hoskins Stadium on the campus of Riverwood High School. I guess it should be Riverwood International Charter School would be the correct way to say that. So 3rd drive in a row starting on the 20-yard line for Rutland. First one went 80 yards for a touchdown. 2nd stalled right around midfield. Phelps and Royal again in the backfield behind Fisher. Fisher tosses it out to Phelps. Phelps looking for room, and Jack Felton slings him down after a gain of 6 on the opening play of the drive.
Brought down by number 21, Jack Felton of the Bears. 5-yard gain on the play. Gonna make it a 2nd.
Nice job by Felton, not only making the tackle, but setting the edge there, not letting Phelps get to the outside. So again, same tight formation. Sneed, the receiver, split out wide for the Rutland Hurricanes. It's going to be a pass here for Fisher, trying to get to the flats. Jack Felton nearly intercepted that pass. Great play there by the sophomore safety. The junior safety.
Yeah.
Maxwell is the sophomore in that secondary, as is Alexander.
Good diving play over there by Felton. Looks like he read it very well.
And that's the thing. I mean, when you look at this backfield, it's 2 juniors, three or a couple sophomores.
Yeah.
And Tyler Rowe is a freshman, I believe.
Yeah.
And they do a good job of communicating. And a little bit, obviously, when they played Hebron, the passing game was tough, but they've done a nice job so far. And it's going to be a handoff for Royal, looking for room. He's going to have first down yardage.
Carried by number 33.
Tyson Royal, the junior, picking up About 10 yards there. Moving the chains as we're under 10 minutes here at Hoskins Stadium. Fisher brings the call in. As you see, the whole offense has the wristbands on. They all flip to their wristband to get the call. They're ready to go. So we're back to the shotgun and 3 receivers here for Rutland. Almost 4 receivers as Royal split to the near side. It's a bit of a tight end, but they're going to keep it with the quarterback, Fisher.
Good tackle.
Nowhere. Oh, breaking out of the first tackle and taken down high, and here comes the flag.
Comes the flag, yep. Got him a little high, looks like. Good second effort by the running back to extend that play. It looked like it was going to be a straight-out loss of 2.
Yeah, Tyler White had him and thought he slung him to the ground, but nice balance there by Fisher to stay on his feet and ended up forcing that penalty call. The officials again confirm, and it's going to be a block in the back on Rutland.
Oh, okay.
So it was a high tackle, but not a horse collar. And that ball was thrown right at the line of scrimmage, so should be 10 yards. So block in the back, we'll back it up 10 yards. And it'll look like it happened right behind the line of scrimmage, so it'll end up being 11 yards. So 1st and 21 here for the Hurricane offense as they get their first drive of this second quarter. So both teams hurting themselves with penalties on offense in the first half of this one. So shotgun here for Rutland. And splitting out is McDonald all the way to the near side. Sneed at the top. And in the slot looks like is 18 Foreman. It's going to be a throw out wide. They're trying to set up the screen. And
that was a miss.
Incompletion. I thought there may be an interference for a block downfield, but nothing called there. So it'll be 2nd and 21 as the screen intended for Foreman was thrown high. So 2nd and 21, ball on the 26-yard line of Rutland. Their 3rd drive of the game. And they're boring done, it sounds like.
They've started all 3 drives on the 20, yes. I do believe.
Absolutely.
Compliments of Blake Dobbs.
And toss out to Phelps, looking for a little bit of room. And Bo Maxwell coming up and making a big tackle for a loss of 2. So Maxwell, one of those sophomores we talked about. Also on the field right now, a freshman, Devin Farrell, on the far side at cornerback for Holy Innocents.
Super athlete. You'll hear his name on a basketball court, too. He's a player.
So he's opposite Leighton Dixon. We've seen Tyler Rowe in at corner as well tonight. Shotgun, handoff, Phelps, nowhere to go. Tripped up, Sam Aiken, another loss on the play.
4th and forever. Punt time.
Sam Aiken slicing through that offensive line like butter to make a tackle in the backfield.
One of our 3 sports athletes, Sam Aiken.
Wrestler in baseball?
Yeah, wrestler in baseball. His dad's a baseball coach, so I'm sure he didn't have much choice about that one. But he contributes in all 3 sports, though. He's not just one that gets the T-shirt.
High looping snap, and coming off the edge was Farrell. You mentioned trying to show that speed. Dixon picks it up on the hop, trying to get fed, gets up block, crosses the 50. Now he's crossing the 35, inside the 30, and taken down at the 27-yard line. And a flag on the field, and I hope they don't call a block in the back there, because that was a clean block, as we see on the replay. Helmet in front.
Looks like they're calling it, though. Yep.
I guess they call it a crackback block, and that's a really tough call because that looked about as clean as you can do it on a punt return like that. It's almost like you just have to kind of slide in front of them or box them out at times.
Right.
So a great play in special teams that would have flipped the field. We'll see it one more time on the replay. I think it might have been Kadar Henry, and it's just, I think it's just just the nature of the game, trying to make sure that they're keeping it safe. Not a big hit by any means, but I believe the rule is you can't have your shoulders going back towards your goal line when you throw a block on those crackback blocks. So that's what it is. You see Henry talking to one of the coaches up there, and they're down there, and they're both kind of like, I'm not sure what you're supposed to do on there. Coach Winter is going to call a timeout as he's not happy with the way the offense is set up to start this drive. 7:45 to go before the half. We'll take a quick break here on SUV TV's coverage of Holy Innocents Golden Bears football.
There we go.
We're back out of the timeout. 7:45 to go in our second quarter. A couple raindrops still falling down here at Hoskins Stadium for the Golden Bears home opener. Two receivers split out here to the bottom of the screen. Cardian on the line. Felton off the line in the slot. Vincilette, the single A back. Cox at the B-back spot, and that's exactly where they go to Cox, and he's going to spin for about 5 yards on the carry, bringing up 2nd and 5.
Brought down by number 28, Joseph Kreitzer, and number 18, Otto Foreman.
So they split two receivers out wide, thinking they might throw the ball, but keeping that Rutland defense honest as, again, another carry goes to the B-back. Same formation, two receivers split out, no safety over the top. If Williams can maybe beat his man deep, although he's not going to need to, as Cox is going to carry, picks up 2 blocks from those receivers. Cox showing his speed, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, 3 is where they'll mark him. So Cox showing off his speed from the 38, his own 38, down to the 3-yard line. So a carry of, quick math in my head, would have that at about 52.
Okay, I had 59.
59. I'm sure that's more accurate.
No, I'm not putting money on them. Anyway, we're on the 3-yard line, so we got that part right.
Yeah, no, 59. I didn't carry my one. You know?
Okay. I never did in math class either, so that's all right.
1st and goal, ball on the 2-yard line. Big time carry there by Cox. They're going to reward Cox for the carry, and he's in for his 2nd of the night. This one from 2 yards out.
Michael Cox on the carry. Touchdown Bears.
So, if I'm not mistaken, that drive was 3 plays, 3 Cox carries, and a touchdown.
Yeah, you're right. So it was a 67-yard Michael Cox drive.
Yes.
Now that passed the Hunter Hawk 58-yard drive at Pisgah. Now there's all kind of confusion going on the field. Rutland's trying to get a man on.
No flags. A couple. There's the flag. And going to be a false start on Holy Innocents.
Not really understanding that. Yeah. Rutland had 10 players on the field.
And trying to run and spook somebody when they saw a flash jersey come from the sideline. So hopefully it'll be no issue for Blake Dobbs. We see the strength of his leg. He can punch this thing through. Just a little bit more of a tester here from 25 instead of the normal 20. A little bit of a liner and no good. So that may have played a role. Nonetheless, third touchdown of the game on 3 drives here for Holy Innocents.
I was about to say we punted once, but we didn't because it was a fake punt.
Yep.
And we got the pass interference. Now there's a penalty flag.
And it may be sidelined for getting on the officials. It is going to be unsportsmanlike on Holy Innocents.
Coach Winter's going to go give him an earful.
And sometimes those are warranted when there's a call you feel is atrocious.
Yeah, it's like sometimes basketball coaches will want to get a technical foul, you know, to tick your team off, get them fired up. This may be one of those times because Rutland had a player behind us on the extra point. I think we snapped it maybe to get the penalty.
Right, and then went the wrong way with it.
And then we got the penalty call, and we ended up missing the extra point. Hopefully it's not going to matter.
So Coach Winter has a quick talk with his kickoff unit. And they'll be kicking off from the 25-yard line, so this one probably won't go in the end zone. Matt Davis gets stretched out on the sideline after leading his 3rd consecutive touchdown drive with the offense. And Coach Winter sprinting down, getting everyone backed up, making sure there's no sideline infraction on his squad. A lot of times you see assistant coaches doing that. Coach Winter taking care of it himself. Dobbs a little bit of a dribbler, see if they can't get a bounce. It's picked up at the 31-yard line, looking for room, and tripped up by Bo Maxwell near the 50-yard line. That was 82 on the return, and don't have a number for 82 on Rutland.
Well, the way they do it at Georgia is Kirby Smart makes one of his assistants grab him by the belt.
Yep.
And he says, it's on you if I get a penalty. So he has to pull him back. So maybe Coach Winter may need one of those if we get another one of those calls.
So Hunter Hawk trying to get a little energy out of the crowd here as the ball's on the 50-yard line here. And a big-time drive. Holy Innocents can get a stop and punch one in. They'll get the ball to start the second half.
That's right, sure will.
So Hunter Hawk knows the importance of this drive, and a short field for Rutland after the penalty that forced the kickoff back 15 yards. Phelps and Royal, the running backs, they give it to Royal. Nowhere to go. Bounces off the first tackle. And the ball popped out. Holy Innocents says they did, and the officials give it to him. So the defense comes up with a huge play. Jack Felton comes out of the pile with the ball. And Royal bounced off the first one. And I think it was either Hawk or Collins popped that ball out. And Felton, I believe, was the one that jumped on it. So it really doesn't matter. It's a turnover either way, and Holy Innocents will start the drive in plus territory as the ball's on the Rutland 49-yard line, 6:41 to go. A little bit of range starts to drop. Davis wants to throw. Cardian on the post. Cardian has his man beat. Cardian catches, chipped up inside the 10-yard line. 40 yards on the catch and throw, and first and goal again. Landon Cardian, first game back this year on the post. Picks up 40, and what a ball by Davis, throwing his man open. Cardian just doing his part of catching it as the rain starts to fall. That ball getting a little bit slick. They made it look easy.
Simple pattern. Cardian just outran his man. Good catch.
We said Cardian listened at 6'4", 190, big, tall, good strides, just beat his man out of that break. Davis under center, hands off to Cox. Cox bounces off one, bounces off two, drags the third, down to the one. Gain of 8 there for Cox. Clock ticks to the halfway mark of our second quarter. What we thought was going to be a fast-moving game has been a little bit slow, partially in part to quite a few penalties. So 2nd and goal from the 1. Cox in the backfield. He's looking for his 3rd touchdown rush of the night. Cox carries and crosses for a touchdown. Another 1-yard rush for Michael Cox. Excuse me, the last one was 2 yards. And we'll see what they do. They leave the offense on the field for the 2-point conversion again, and a Rutland player is on a knee in the end zone. He's trying to pop up under his own power. And he will, and they're going to let him stay in the game, maybe. Coach Winter's going to take advantage of the official timeout, get his guys together, and get on the same page for their 2-point play. So 4 for 4, all touchdowns for Holy Innocents on the day with their offensive drives. So they went to Cox on the 2-point conversion last time. This time they pitched to Vincilette. First time they've gone outside all day, and it pays off, and a flag comes in the area of holding.
Yep.
Flag on the play.
Sure enough.
This will call is holding on the Bears.
And there is it. Out of the official, the hold on Holy Innocents. So now Coach Winter's probably going to send on his field goal unit, and he will. So Blake Dobbs will have another extra long extra point.
Yeah.
Last one ended up being a 25-yard extra point. This one will end up being a 28-yard extra point. As the rain falling a little more consistently now, but
this is Cardian kicking it.
Not too hard. Oh, yep, the lefty Cardian in.
The left footers.
As Dobbs missed 2, so Coach Winter goes to his other kicker, and his other kicker puts it through. And you know, Don, we've talked a lot this year about the depth and how that affects the game. How about having 2 kickers?
Yeah, okay, I know. Not a lot of. Kind of like having 4 pitchers on a high school baseball.
Exactly.
You know, you don't usually if you can have 1, you're doing pretty good. But Blake Dobbs can kick it, Cardian can kick it, and
they'll send Dobbs out for the kickoff, so no change there.
Yeah, Dobbs has done a great job kicking off all year, and
so Cardian in his first game this year making an impact receiving the ball and in the kicking game. There's the whistle to put the ball in play. Dobbs will put his big right foot into the ball on the near hash, and that one is going to be short of the end zone, I believe. It is fielded at the 1-yard line, coming right up the middle, looking for room, and staying free. Flag comes in, and the ball may have come loose, as Bo Maxwell's indicating Holy Innocents football, but no official is indicating with them. And it's going to be chop block on Holy Innocents, which I'm not sure how the offense gets called for a chop block. But we'll see if that call stands. Right now the ball spotted at, I believe, the 27-yard line. They're going to stay with the call, so maybe a Holy Innocents player went low on a blocker trying to block him. There have been a couple little bit of peculiar calls in this game, and there have been a lot of calls, peculiar or not. We've seen plenty of laundry tonight. That's a lot of resemblance to a Thursday night football game I watched last night.
I'm glad I went to sleep. I heard about it. I did the right thing.
I was trying to stay awake watching. So shotgun here for Rutland. They scored in their opening drive, but nothing since, coming off a drive in which they fumbled the football and Jack Felton jumped on it for the Golden Bears defense. Screen, middle of the field. Graham Collins blew it up, and there is the flag.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
So that's going to be a 15-yard interference call, I would think. I guess they could call it illegal contact, but. And it is going to be interference on Collins. So Collins read the screen to perfection, went to blow it up, and just got there too early. And again, the Holy Innocents coaching staff still not happy with the officials. They got a conduct earlier. They're doing a nice job keeping their cool, but you can tell frustration is boiling a little bit despite the lead. They want to put this one away. Rutland in the shotgun, 3 receivers. Fisher takes a snap, hands it off, trying to get to the outside, and dragged down by Hunter Hawk.
There's another penalty flag. Oh.
And it's going to be a block in the back on Rutland.
Flag down. Penalty call is holding on the Hurricanes.
And it's almost like the Holy Innocents fans are upset that there's any flag, whether it's on Rutland or them. It's like, let's just get a play off.
Yeah, no. What should be a fast game is probably the longest night ever. It might as well be homecoming at halftime, and let's just make a real long night of it.
We're past the hour mark of our opening half, and we still have 5 minutes to go. Now, part of the length of the half is all the scoring that Holy Innocents has been doing, so that part we don't mind as much. But there's probably about 15 minutes of game time that have just been the officials throwing a flag, talking about a flag, or making the call. So first and quite a ways, we'll call it 20. Ball back in Rutland territory. 3 receivers near side. Is McDonald and Foreman. Now McDonald goes in motion. Fake the screen, want the deep route. In coverage, Alexander. Just off his fingertips, had a chance for his 3rd interception of the year. Nice job in coverage there by the sophomore safety.
Broken up by number 13, Taekwon Alexander.
Man, they brought in motion, ended up running a wheel route. It was a very nice play design, but the way Alexander read that, it seems like that's something they saw on film, and he was ready for it. So 2nd and 20, under 5 to go here. Under center goes Fisher, splitting out wide as the receiver Sneed. Bottom of the screen, McDonald. McDonald comes in motion. Holy Innocents almost jumps, no flag. Comes out, Michael Cox with a tackle after a loss of 4, coming up off his defensive end spot. Michael Cox, we talked about him plenty about rushing the football last year as he had over 1,200 yards and 11 touchdowns. He also had 39 tackles playing defense last year, and probably only about half the defensive snaps last season.
Yeah, he's a two-way guy too. We like to rest him if we can, where he can carry that ball, but you saw what he can do on the other side of it.
So 3rd and 30 here for this Rutland offense. 4:20 and counting on the clock here, so Holy Innocents, if the clock keeps running, may look to call a timeout after this one. Dixon communicates with the sideline. They get their coverage out. It's a handoff up the middle. Sam Aiken again in the backfield making plays from his defensive line spot. The bean is thrown, the ball is out, and we'll see who's going to come up with it. Holy Innocents acting like they do. Bottom of the pile is Getz, and Spencer Getz comes up with the fumble recovery. And 2nd possession in a row, this Golden Bears defense is forced to fumble. So again, a short field. The last drive started on the Rutland 49. This one's going to start on the Rutland 41-yard line with 4 minutes and 2 timeouts to go. 1 timeout to go for the Golden Bears.
There you go, Spencer Getz, a junior.
So they came out throwing after the last turnover as Davis found Cardigan on the post. And Cardigan again is the receiver here at the bottom of the screen. And they pitch it out to Kadar Henry. He's got some blockers in front of him, patient with his block. Kadar Henry down the sideline, dragging a tackler down inside the 10-yard line. They'll spot him at the 10. That'll be a carry of 31 for Henry. Great patience shown there by Henry. He got out to the edge. Jack Felton was giving him a lead block, and he patiently waited for Felton to set up that block, cut it up inside, and then Henry showed off some of that speed.
We knew he had the speed, but he showed his smarts right there, because if he had just tried to break through, he'd have been tackled. But he waited on his block, and that patience gave him 21 more yards. Again, me trying to do math, but it gave him a lot more yards.
So they say he was down to the 12, not the 10, so it'll be 1st and 10. Golden Bears can still get a first down inside, and is that going to be a delay game? A false start on somebody.
Yep.
False start on the Bears.
So that'll back him up 5, put the ball on the 17-yard line. And this Holy Innocents offense has shown explosive plays making so far tonight. And Rutland's going to call a timeout. We'll take a timeout with them as our first half continues on SUV TV's coverage of Holy Innocents football right after this. And we're back here, 3:24 to go before the half. Holy Innocents inside the red zone. A false start backed them up, so it's 1st and 15. I'm Ned Case alongside Dunn Neugebauer. Thanks for tuning in to SUV TV's coverage of Holy Innocents Golden Bears football. Hunter Hawk directly behind Davis. Hawk gets the carry, and he's going to be taken down. Nice play on the defensive line there for Rutland.
Brought down by number 33, Tyson Royal.
So a gain of maybe 1 there brings up 2nd and 14. Davis checks with the winner. They need to get this play moving pretty quick. Well, I believe they just blew the 25-second clock live, so Davis gets his guys aligned. Cardian splits out wide. Henry and Felton, the A-backs. Hawk 3 yards behind Davis. Henry in motion. They pitch it out to Henry. He handles the pitch, gets a nice block, and he's going to be dragged down at the 16-yard line, gain of 2. The Rutland coaching staff not happy with the officials. They want to hold, I think. Everybody else in the stands happy with the officials for keeping that handkerchief in their pocket. So wholesale here is Davis brings a play in with Williams, and Collins will come in at tight end. Collins and Shane splitting the duty at tight end. So again, we'll see the 2 receivers to the same size. It's Felton and Williams. They've run out of this both times. Now they're going to throw. Rolling to his left is Davis. Davis throws it to Hawk. Tipped, caught by Felton. Right place, right time. And he's going to be close to first down yardage. And when things are going well, things are going well. That pass off the left hand of Hunter Hawk as Davis was getting pressure in his face. Tipped up Johnny on the spot. Jack Felton caught the deflection.
Looks like it's been timeout for a measurement.
And Holy Innocents is going to call their final timeout. And see if they gave him a first down. Looks like they're about a yard short. So it'll be a 4th and 1, ball on the 3-yard line. You got to imagine where this offense is going. Let's just turn around and give it to the fullback.
Yeah, there you go. Off tackle, nothing fancy.
Check that. There's timeout. 1:34 to go in the half.
So Holy Innocents uses their last timeout of the half. as they need 1 yard to get a first down, 3 yards to get a touchdown, and stay perfect on their drives. Not only scoring on their previous 4, but scoring touchdowns on their previous 4, looking to go 5 for 5. Cox already has 3 rushing touchdowns, and he's in the backfield. We saw them get to the edge a few times, and they're going to give it to Cox. Cox off tackle into the end zone. This one from 3 yards to go along with one from 2 yards, one from 1 yard.
There you go.
And a 9-yard rush. So extra point pending. It's Cardian again, 91 seconds to go. Cox just found that room off tackle, and he was right in. Oh, excuse me, they are going to go for 2. As Cardian's in as the receiver, not a kicker. So looking to go by 28 if they can convert here. They're 1 for 1. Their second attempt drew a flag, so they ended up kicking the extra point. That was after the last touchdown. Davis, Henry in motion, pitches to Henry. Henry trying to get to the edge, has some blockers, patiently waits, bounces outside, and in. Kadar Henry showing his ability to get to the edge and get patient and get positive things for this offense as they score their 5th touchdown of the opening half. And I mentioned it coming into the game, or excuse me, last season, they only averaged 26 points per game. They got 35 in the half right now.
35 at the half, there you go.
And so I have Cox with 3 second quarter touchdowns and 1 in the first quarter. This first one may have been in the second quarter.
First quarter, Matt Davis had our only touchdown. We were down 7-6 after a quarter.
So then Cox has 4 second quarter touchdowns. That's a nice little quarter to put together there.
That has to be a record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would imagine. 4 1/4 is, and one of them was a drive all by himself as he took it 68 yards, I think is the number you said. So now Cardian on. Cardian was a big pooch kick guy last year. See if they do that, or if they go deep with it. A little bit of a squibber as it will settle down to the 1 yard line. So a nice kick there from Cardian, making them have to return it. And the return does cross the 20, so it ends up being positive for Rutland. This drive will start at the 24-yard line. And again, there's a little more of that unpredictability from Coach Winter. You get a different kickoff kicker and a different style of kick with it.
Yeah.
So Holy Innocents defense has forced a pair of fumbles on the last 2 possessions. They can get a third here. There's still time in the short field, so we'll see what Rutland does. Rutland may stay conservative as they are a little deep in their own territory. We mentioned Rutland also 0-11 over the last 2 seasons. Their last win came September 29th of 2016. But nonetheless, a good test for Holy Innocents to play a 3A school play of a classification. Trap play underneath, nowhere to go. Hunter Hawk just all over the field. That one's going to be a loss of 1. They'll say forward progress.
Brought down by number 22, big Hunter Hawk. That's a loss of 4 on the play. Second
and dare I say that this half is in danger of ending. We're getting inside a minute. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
We're pushing the hour 20 mark of this half alone. Looks like we may have a couple quarterbacks warming up on the sideline. If this trend continues, chance for some of these young guys to get on the field for Holy Innocents. They got to close out this half, though. Rutland's going to run a sweep play. Sam Aiken trips him up, and then a host of Golden Bears help take down the ball carrier. That looked like Tyson Royal on the carry. And the clock will run. I don't believe Rutland has to run another play, and they don't look to be in any rush to make another play happen. has runner 10. That'll take us to the half here. Hunter Hawk getting the crowd pumped up. A great showing here in the home opener at Hoskins Stadium for the Holy Innocents Golden Bears. They lead 35-7 over Rutland behind 4 second quarter touchdowns from Michael Cox.
There you go. Good second quarter.
Absolutely, and it was 2 weeks ago, the second quarter that doomed Holy Innocents.
Yes, it was. Oh,
and
yes.
This week, it's the one that springs them forward. So we'll head to the half. Holy Innocents leading 28 here on SUV TV's coverage of Holy Innocents Golden Bears football. Welcome back to SUV TV's coverage of Holy Innocents Golden Bears football alongside Dunn Nugabout, Rob Ned Case. A score coming out, start of the third quarter, Holy Innocents 35, Rutland 7. Dunn 5 for 5 on drives, resulting in touchdowns in that first half for the offense.
Looked good, used some clock. Michael Cox scored all 4 of his touchdowns in the second quarter. I think I just say it was 8-1, 3 and 3 of the yardage, not in that order. And the defense, after the first drive that we gave, again, we had the penalties. The defense looked really good too. So much needed confidence, give a little momentum going down to McDonough or wherever we're going next Friday.
Absolutely.
And see if we can close this thing out. And yeah, 5 for 5. You hit on it.
And they'll start with the ball here, trying to go 6 for 6.
We did see our punter though, but we did the fake punt thing.
You're right, and it resulted in a pass interference as Maxwell tried to get the ball to Ronnie Williams. And he was interfered with, so now the kickoff will come from the big number 71, the senior Oscar Music. He's got a big, powerful left foot we've seen on kickoffs and punts. That's a low liner, and it'll be scooped up by Padgett at the 11-yard line. He's bringing it to the near side. He's got a nice little wall in front of him. Padgett hits the hole fast, breaks one tackle, and is dragged down across the 45-yard line. Harrison Padgett with a nice return there, and we mentioned our Ed Voiles Automotive Group keys to the game before the game as we look at them at the half. Penalties, an area they did not have success, but the other two protecting the football in field position, they did extremely well, including winning the turnover battle with 2 forced fumbles.
Yeah, they did well there. We got the fumbles late. Spencer Getz jumped on one, and who got the other?
I believe Felton had the first one.
Jack Felton. And let's have a slow start to the second half.
And Coach Winter not happy. He's having to use a timeout to start before the first snap of the opening drive to start the second half. 11:50 gone. Ball on the 46-yard line. So, as we mentioned, Rutland went up, scored their opening drive, 7-0. There was 41-yard scamper from Matt Davis. The extra point was no good, so it was 7-6 heading into the second quarter. And then, as Dunn mentioned, 4 touchdowns, all from inside 9 yards for Michael Cox in that second quarter.
And give Landon Cardian some love on that long Matt Davis to Landon Cardian. Cardian just rejoining the team. He's been injured. And
Cardian chipped in with an extra point made as well.
Yes, he did. Sure did.
So Hunter Hawk gets a pitch outside. Vincent looking for somebody to block. There's nobody to block. Padgett, great blocking on the outside. Down the sideline. Hawk gets up to 20, 15, 10. Is he going to get it? Runs over a defender and scores. 54 yards. Hunter Hawk on the opening play of the second half. I kept kind of waiting for him to be knocked out of bounds or taken down. Nobody was there, showing off some speed. And man, when you watch him finish this run, that's punishing right there as he lowers the shoulder at the 7-yard line with a stiff arm.
He showed both. He showed speed, he showed power, a little bit of patience, and got it done. 54 yards if my attempt at math is right. And Cardian's going to be the extra point man here.
Dobbs missed 2. One of them was backed up after a penalty. Cardian, the left footer, high and through.
It was through.
So that one only took 1 play. So I got to imagine Coach Winter, upset about the timeout, feels a little better about the timeout after that result.
And as we discussed, the 30-point rule now, the other team in the third quarter, the losing team, has to agree to it. But in the fourth quarter, if it's a 30-point lead, the clock runs no matter what the losing coach wants to do.
The only time it would stop would be for timeouts, whether either team or an official timeout. So we'll see what Rutland wants. We were talking at halftime. They got a long trek back to Macon, so see if they choose to take it. And if they do, it'll start after this kickoff. So Cardian will be the kicker here. We saw Dobbs for all but the last kick of the first half. So Cardian will come back out here. And again, it's a chance for Coach Winter to, try out some different things with this big lead, try different kickers, get Cardian some reps there. I saw a couple different, young quarterbacks warming up for the game, and a play like that start the half definitely gives you confidence to get some other guys in. Cardian's left foot, good kick, drilled, and
not bad.
Bounces into the end zone for a touchback. So Rutland will start the drive at the 20, where they've started quite a few drives so far today. A T-shirt comes flying up towards us. I don't know if that's a T-shirt cannon or someone's arm. So, you know, we mentioned Rutland scored on that opening drive, and on that opening drive it was, you know, rush for about 40 yards, nothing but power run, and then they opened it up. So, you know, you got to wonder if Coach Winter really knew what to expect out of this Rutland offense coming into the game.
I know, and they showed a little versatility. They did it both ways, but since then our defense is really lots of different players. Michael Cox had a tackle for a loss, got the 2 fumble recoveries. A lot of people, Sam Aiken, we've called his name a few times on the defense.
It's going to be a pass over the middle, and hit as he threw was Fisher. Pressure on the play there coming from 56, Hall O'Neal. O'Neal, one of those big guys on both lines. Doesn't always get his name called, but always making an impact and often on the field for about 80% of snaps.
He did block that punt at Mount Pisgah.
That's right.
He was the man.
So no gain on that one, brings up 2nd and 10. And it looks like Rutland has opted to not take the running clock thus far as the clock stops on the incompletion. So Fisher under center, brings a man in motion. A little underneath play, nowhere to go. Well read. Graham Collins and Hunter Hawk in on that one. Both linebackers diagnosed that play. Tackle for loss. You know, we call Collins and Hawk a lot for these tackles, but a big part of that is those 4 defensive linemen keeping blockers off the linebackers, letting them roam and make those plays for loss.
And the last few times the quarterback's thrown it, they've put a good rush on him. When he's hurried, he's not near as accurate. And we saw accuracy 2 weeks ago.
3rd and long, pitches on the ground, and jumping on it looked like Royal, but it'll bring up a 4th and long and a pretty obvious punt situation for Rutland, and they'll trot the punt unit onto the field. So Paget back deep. He's going to be joined by a youngster, the freshman Xavier Smith.
We put pretty good pressure on this punter the last couple of times. I usually jinx us when I say stuff like this, but
Devin Farrell came around the edge on the last one. Looked like he might have a chance for it. Farrell in that same spot. And Paget's had 2 pretty nice returns off on his punts, although one did get called back with the block, I believe it was the crackback block, peel back block. So Music on for the punt. Oscar Music, maybe my favorite name of the season so far.
There we go.
And the rush creates an extremely short punt. Paget is going to pick it up on the run. And a little bit of a dicey play there.
Yeah, I agree. I would think, get away from it, get away from it. But I think he saw the goal.
Yeah.
Because he had Green in front of him.
See Paget having a talk with his coaches, and I think what made it even worse is when he got tackled right at the feet of Coach Winter, so he had to look up at Coach Winter's angry face. But no harm, no foul, and it looks like we're going to have Xavier Smith stay in the game at quarterback. So the freshman getting some carries, another freshman in at the B-back spot, Amari Gordon. Henry and Vinchelette still in. And handoff up the middle to Gordon. He's powering forward, picks up about 4.
Number 30, Amari Gordon.
So Amari Gordon, the freshman, and just looking down the roster, Holy Innocents has, I think, 3 or 4 freshman quarterbacks listed. Smith is the first one that gets the nod. But Davis only a junior, so chance for some of these young guys to learn from him for this year and next. And give again right at the middle. Gordon powering behind his offensive line. Tackled at the 20-yard line, and I believe should be enough for a first down. And it is. The officials start moving the chains.
Drop down number 28, Joseph Kreitzer, but not before Amari gets another Bears first down.
So Davis showing off some powerful running, 2 carries for 10 yards. And at receiver, splitting out wide. 12. We'll get a name for that. Excuse me, Vincilette in motion. Gordon again up the middle, busting through, keeping the feet moving. Another nice pickup. The official on the far side has him spotted for a gain of 8. Ball at the 12-yard line.
A gain of 8. Brought down by number 28, Joseph Kreitzer.
Clock ticks down towards 9 minutes in our third quarter. Again, Bears scored on their first play from scrimmage after Harrison Padgett had a nice kickoff return. And then Hunter Hawk on a toss took it 54 yards down the sideline, showing some speed and power. Now Gordon getting his chance in the backfield, showing his power. Gordon tripped up briefly, gain of 1 and maybe even 2 as it gets close to the first down mark. Well, they're going to say 3rd and are they going to move the chains? No one's really sure if they should or not. The nose of the ball looks like it's on the 10. The official is just going to make a judgment call as he's decided it's about a finger's length from the first down. We'll call it 2 chains length. See if Smith gets his first carry of the game with a little keeper here. As he checks with Coach Winter. Everyone gets on the same page here. And handoff, Gordon has the first down, keeping the feet moving, moving the pile inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. And it looks like there may be a Golden Bear slow to get up. Now he pops up. That was Richard Johnston. Understandably tired with how much he's on the field on both lines.
He's one you don't hear his name, but he's a worker. Great kid, does what he's supposed to do. Plays tennis in the spring. I talked about how you don't have linemen that play tennis that much, but he's one of them. We featured him in our website a couple weeks ago. He's just a all-around good boy.
And a captain for this team, and keeper for Smith, and he's in. Xavier Smith with his first varsity touchdown in his young career, only a freshman, from 3 yards out. Nice showing there by a pair of freshmen. Smith finishes it up, but it was Amari Gordon for, I believe, 4 or 5 carries there that got him down in close.
I had him for 5 carries.
Yeah, 5 carries from the 30, so for about 25 yards, or for about 7 yards, and then Smith popped it in, so about 5 yards per carry for Gordon to start his varsity career. And now a chance to get up by 42 with the extra point, and a flag came out, maybe offsides.
Maybe the refs will get tired of throwing those things.
Snap, hold, Cardian's kick is right through. So Landon Cardian 3 for 3 on his extra points, and the score extends.
Maybe they'll ask the other coach again about the running clock thing.
Yeah, I mean, I assume you can accept it any time. And we talked about, the reason Holy Innocents is playing Rutland is it's a 3A school. In the power rankings, anytime you play upper classification, you get some bonus points. Anytime you win against a higher classification, you get some bonus points. So a good chance here for Holy Innocents, and they have taken full advantage of that. As I know it's only week 4 and only game 3, but with the power rankings, that's kind of how you got to look at it all season long, see where you stand.
Another thing Coach Winter said before the season, you got 10 games, you need to win at least 5 of them to get in the playoffs. So this will be 2.
Just
mark them off one at a time. You want to win more than that to host.
Yes.
You want to get on up there, go.
And it's bobbled, and finally we're still on the ground, and Holy Innocents No, looks like Rutland did finally jump on it. That ball fumbled around for quite some time. So the Hurricanes will start this drive deep in their own territory at about the 13-yard line. In the Class A playoffs, the top 24 get in on the power rankings. The top 8 get a bye. So that means 9 through 16 host a first-round game. And that's certainly a spot where Holy Innocents could find themselves come playoff time. But a big test next week awaits us, the Golden Bears, as they take on Eagles Landing Christian Academy, the defending Class A private state champions, as the defensive line scrambles but gets set. Hand off to Royal, looking for room, dragged down from behind. I believe Richard Johnston was the one taking down the ball carrier. Excuse me, not 54. That was 44, the backup linebacker, Moreland Bell.
Brought down by Big Bo Bell.
So
Moreland, one of our juniors.
Yep, Moreland Bell and William Wills, and as the 2 linebackers, giving Collins and Hawk well-deserved breaks. So now it's kind of a fun part for everybody. If you're a starter, you get a chance to kind of relax and take in some football and cheer on some of these guys, although you don't want to lose the way you've been playing. And Rutland's finding some success. Rutland, a pretty small squad, so I don't know how much depth they have. I'd expect a lot of their starters to play most of this game. Still a pretty good mix of starters and some reserves. But even the reserves are juniors, guys we've seen on the field before this season.
Next man up.
First and 10 as Rutland moves the chains. They hand it off, trying to bounce it outside. Spencer gets, hangs on, and that tackle cleaned up by a host of Bears, including the freshman, James Gleason. So Taquan Alexander is going to get a break, and Xavier Smith, who just scored at quarterback, is going to come on and play a little free safety. Approaching 5 minutes here in our third quarter. Holy Innocents well in control of this one. They controlled it the whole first half and then left no doubt, scoring on the first play from scrimmage of the third quarter. Pitch outside for Rutland, looking for a little bit of room, and may have been a held. No flag called. We're okay with that up here as Harrison Paget did a nice job forcing the run inside.
Keyshawn Brown on the carry for the Canes, brought down by...
Seeing a heavy dose of Keyshawn Brown for Rutland here in this third quarter. He's had a couple nice runs getting to the outside. Third down, they give it to Royal. Royal's got a first down. Paget takes him down along with Xavier Smith. And Kadar Henry also in on that tackle. So Rutland still playing hard, running the football effectively. They're getting to the edge. We'll see if Rutland gets down towards the end zone, if Coach Winter gets tempted to put some of those starters back in. You know, he doesn't want to give him a touchdown just because his second group's on the field. Handoff again, nice push up front. Sam Aiken once again making a tackle in the backfield. Sam Aiken, the junior, he's listed at 5'7", 170 pounds, and he's been a force on the defensive line tonight.
Yeah, he's not a tall kid. He's just solid, very solidly built fella. I would say of the 3 sports he plays, he's built most like a wrestler to me.
Yep.
He's just
that
got
5'7".
that little sturdy little look about him.
That's probably why he does so well on the defensive line, staying low as he explodes off the ball there, sheds a blocker, but getting to the outside is Brown. Pickup of about 5, brings up 3rd and 6. Moreland Bell looked like he was over there on the tackle, as well as Paget. They've continued to pitch the ball out to Paget's spot on the corner. Under 3 to go.
Check at 36.
And I think one of the places you see the most depth for this Holy Innocents team is on the defensive line. They're consistently running guys in and out, staying fresh on that front four.
Yes, that's the luxury we didn't have last year.
And confusion from Rutland here as keeping it is Fisher, and he doesn't have anywhere to go. Sam Aiken chasing him down, trying to rip the ball out. Gain of 1 brings up 4th and 5 for Rutland.
Christian Fisher on the carry.
Looks like they're going to punt it.
And they will. Opting to not give Holy Innocents a short field. This is the Holy Innocents defense that gave up 33 points per game last year. They've got that number down. Despite giving up 38 last week, they only gave up 21 in the opener. And a couple of those were late in the game. Holy Innocents has gotten close on a couple of these. The last one was a short punt. This one's going to be short again. Harrison Padgett's not going to come near that one.
Like I told you, all night they've put a good rush on this guy.
It's a 17-yard punt, but they're going to call roughing the punter. And we were talking about, you know, penalties hurt them. They've been penalty-free there. And I think it was the freshman Farrell just getting a little over-anxious trying to come off the edge. Clock will wind. 90 seconds left. Rutland runs on an offensive lineman late. Big 73, the senior center, Jordan Cervantes. And Rutland's going to call a timeout with 1:20 to go in the third quarter. We'll take a quick timeout with them here on Holy Innocents Golden Bears football, powered by SUV TV. Coming out of the Rutland timeout, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes. Ball on the Golden Bears 36-yard line. It was a roughing the passer that gave the Hurricanes this first down, or excuse me, roughing the punter that gave the Hurricanes this first down. They're looking to take advantage of it, looking for their first touchdown since the first quarter in their opening drive. This may be one of the first times since then they've crossed into Holy Innocents territory.
Yeah, I think so. And the couple times they did, they fumbled. They were around midfield both times.
Johnson breaks the first group of tacklers, not the second group of tacklers. Xavier Smith coming in and making the tackle. And that is an extremely generous spot they gave him. He broke the tackle and tried to make more happen. They say only a loss at 2.
Brought down behind the lines by number 16, Xavier Smith. To bring up a 2nd and 12.
So under a minute before we enter the fourth quarter here. 2nd and 12 for the Hurricane offense. They're going to go in a shotgun. We saw a lot of that in the first quarter when they crossed into their opponent's territory. Fisher looking right. Ball.
Penalty.
And it's going to be a face mask, I think. They were trying to get him down. Fisher would not go down without a fight. First contact was made by James Gleason.
That's another freshman. Come on, guys.
Early call was face mask on the Bears.
So it's going to go against the Golden Bears, and that's going to give up another 15 free yards. So it's been a less penalty-filled third quarter, but still enough penalties. Although now, are they going to wave the flag?
It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. Give the Canes a 2nd and 12.
5-yard face mask, gotcha. So only of the 5-yard variety, they still have that option in high school. So 2nd and 12, 27 seconds to go in our third quarter. Clock winds. Shotgun snap, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Fisher. Low snap. Fisher keeps, looking for room. Ronnie Williams with a nice tackle. Fisher picked up about 6-7 yards on that. That will likely take us to the end of the third quarter. And it will. So after 36 minutes of play, the Golden Bears dominating here in their home opener at Hoskins Stadium, up by 42. The score 49-7. We'll be back on SUV TV's coverage of Holy Innocents football right after this.
Back.
Fourth quarter about to get underway. Holy Innocents leading 49-7. I'm Ned Case alongside Dunn Neugebauer. Thanks for tuning in. SUV TV's coverage of Holy Innocents Golden Bears football. Done a little bit fast moving third quarter there.
Yeah.
Clock will run through the fourth, but seen a lot of young faces for Holy Innocents. A lot of them are getting their names called.
Yeah, Amari Gordon had an impressive, he did most of that drive. Xavier Smith scored the touchdown, but Amari had like 5 carries, looked good. And Xavier just had a tackle for a loss on the defensive side. So, and then James Gleason, that's a freshman. Anyway, we got what's
Tried to do that change of direction play again. Sam Aiken in there.
Sam Aiken, we've called his name a lot.
Absolutely, he's been making plays. 63, Jacoby Harmon also in there on the tackle. Get these young guys in, want to try to get them recognized. A lot of these guys putting in their hard work and practice, get their name called here on Friday nights.
These are some names I ain't even met yet, and I pride myself on knowing everybody.
Well, I can tell you what, Don, from what I can tell, everybody here knows you. So it's 4th and 7 here, chance for Holy Innocents to get the ball back. We'll see what Rutland does. They're going to throw. Fisher wants to go deep and almost intercepted there by the freshman Farrell, but it won't matter. It'll be a turnover on downs.
Number 18, Otto Foreman, falls incomplete. That's going to be a turnover down.
So we'll see potentially some different young faces out here this drive. So Smith will stay in at quarterback, his second drive leading this offense.
That was Devin Farrell on the coverage, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll be mentioning his name.
Yep.
You'll hear that name and read about that name for 4 years.
Farrell's also listed as a quarterback. He was thrown around a little bit before the half, so don't know if we'll see him. Clock will run, so this quarter will go faster than you think. We can only hope.
In theory. I wasn't going to make that statement, actually.
And handoff, and there's the flag because 2 guys for Holy Innocents were moving before that play, I'm pretty sure. Illegal shift, yep, that was it. I think both the A-backs leaned just a little bit. As I think it was Henry here on the near side. Just leaned forward a bit. Player down, Otto Foreman for Rutland. And that is one of the times the clock will stop, is on official timeouts. So I'll put my hand up on that one for the crew here. Spoke too soon.
That's usually my job, but okay.
Good news is it looks like it may just be some cramps for Foreman, and we've called his name at receiver and DB, so plenty of guys. And
that's a common injury in August and September, seeing people cramp up.
It's still hot. I think I saw 86 at game time.
Yeah, it was. And plus, when they warming up and starting and the sun's still beating down, it gets dark now around just before 8, but
9:45 here, and it's still 77 degrees. And it's a humid 77 degrees, although Foreman's still down.
The penalty is declined for the illegal shift to bring up the second and 12 on the Bears.
So no penalty, as it was a loss of yard. 2 yards, actually. We'll take a quick break here on SUV TV as Foreman gets attended to on the field. So Foreman makes his way to the sideline, just gingerly walking. Looked like it was a right calf issue, but under his own power, so good to see. Loss of 2 on that play. Henry and Vincilette stay in at the A-backs. Amari Gordon, who had 5 carries on that last drive, stays in at B-back. They're going to give it to Gordon, but the ball comes out, and I think Rutland may have jumped on it, and they did. So Rutland will take advantage. First turnover of the game for Holy Innocents.
Yeah.
And it is, so a little bit of miscommunication there between Alexander and Gordon. But a learning situation nonetheless. They had success on the last drive. Now you go to the sideline, talk about where the issue was, learn from that.
Give them some playing time.
Exactly.
Give them some playing time.
And you know, and a guy like Gordon, you know, he could find his way on the field late in the year, picking up a couple carries in that spot with Cox and Hawk being two-way guys.
My first thoughts when Matt Davis wandered on the field last year when Ian Jones got hurt. And ended up being a permanent thing. And, you know, this is only our week 3 for.
Right.
So some of these kids, I wouldn't be surprised to see Devin Farrell making a difference in week 7 or whatever.
Absolutely.
To name only one. I'm not just singling him out, but.
Pass is going to be incomplete, intended for McDonald, and in coverage, the aforementioned Farrell doing a nice job. And it's especially good to get him in early season. You know, it's great to get him in at any point, but you get him in game 7, 8, it's maybe not as effective.
Right.
You get him in here, you got a chance to go. Plus, you give your starters a few less hits to take before they go take on the top team in Class A Private in Eagles Landing next week.
It's the beauty of having 61 men on the roster. That's never happened in our football history.
Yep, largest roster in Holy Innocents football history. And they picked up their first opening season win since 2013 this season, and their first win over a ranked opponent since 2013, knocking off Mount Pisgah back in August. And now they're looking like they're going to go back above the 500 mark, getting to 2-1.
A lot of good things, a lot of good things.
So 3rd and 7 for Rutland. Fisher still in at quarterback. He's got 3 receivers split out. He's looking right. Pump fakes, goes deep, open. Has a man.
He was open.
And incomplete, a late flag comes in They may get Farrell for a holding or interference. I think the receiver ran a slant and go on him. And it will be interference, so it'll be a first down, but not a touchdown. So you take the good with the bad. Seven minutes to go here in our fourth quarter. It was a 7-6 game after one quarter, and then 4 rushing touchdowns by Michael Cox in the second quarter just blew this one open. And really, it was Cox and Hawk all day. A little bit of Matt Davis sprinkled in, but Holy Innocents didn't have to use the edge much tonight on offense.
A lot of off-tackle stuff, and a lot of big offensive line deserves. So there you go.
Sam Aiken,
there you go.
Another play in the backfield. That one a sack. Sam Aiken's having himself a little party in the backfield tonight.
Yeah, he's but yeah, we off tackle right, off tackle left. Matt Davis got free on that option. I believe it might have been, but
yep. Yeah, a little bit of a quarterback follow when he faked the dive on it.
Yeah, but.
And then he made a nice play on the edge when he was out with the pitch guy, got his foot in the ground.
Yeah, there you go.
Put it up for about 40 yards. So
had a good pass to Cardi, Landon.
Yeah, Davis was definitely over 100 yards rushing, I'd say, and he was close to 50, 75 yards passing.
He's got time.
Fisher looking now. He's going to tuck it down. Aiken is blocked, and yep, that's going to be one of those peel back blocks that we saw called on Holy Innocents earlier. This one's going to go against Rutland. Good pursuit. Sam Aiken has really had a nice night. Aiken, one of those guys we called as a sophomore quite a bit last year.
Yeah, we did. We sure did.
So ball backs up, bring up a second and long, about 22. Ball spotted on the 32-yard line. We're under the halfway mark. Shotgun for Fisher. Screen pass up the middle. It's Johnson. He's looking for room and dragged down. Great play there on the defensive line. That was Spencer Getz hustling. He may have hurt his hand as
two of them down.
A little bit of an awkward takedown there by Getz, but great pursuit from him on this defensive line, backtracking his steps. And with one arm took down the ball carrier, but his arm and wrist may have just got a little contorted. And Johnson down for Rutland. And he looks like he may be cramping as well. So Cox now with 5 rushing touchdowns on the season. Davis had 2 passing touchdowns coming into the game. He added a rushing touchdown. Hawk did have that touchdown. That's right, start of the second half. So he added to his tally for the season. He's now up to 4 rushing touchdowns on the season. So Hawk's put in all that work all season long. 3 games, he's got 4 rushing touchdowns. Michael Cox, that's impressive. Let me do that in a quarter.
Yeah, I know. That's yeah, like I say, we were down 7-6 after a quarter. And the second quarter killed us 2 weeks ago, and it launched us tonight.
Absolutely.
28-0 us in the second quarter. Is that?
Yep, yeah, that's what I have.
Oh, okay. Or 29 because of the 2-point. Is that right? Well,
yeah, that's right. Yep.
Because of the 2-point stuff that came in there.
That's right, 29. And it's been 14-0 in the second half so far, as both players get up and make their way off the field on their own. Getz getting checked out by the trainer here on the near side. Johnson still walking off. Definitely cramping. You can tell by the funky walk he's got going, but he'll be all right. So 3rd and 27 here for the Hurricanes. Again, looking to put in their first touchdown since the first quarter on their opening drive. They started with the ball. It was the first drive of the game. That's a hold.
That's a hold.
And not called. Ball's tipped up in the air.
Yeah,
and the official reached for the flag. The Holy Innocents coaching staff is saying, let's call that.
Otto Foreman, Xavier Smith on the coverage, falls incomplete.
So 4th down and long. If Holy Innocents can get a stop and 2 first downs, it'll probably put an end to this one. Couple new jerseys checking in. So 3 receivers for Fisher. He's got 2 to the top of the screen, bottom of the screen. Single coverage, now he's running, makes 1 man miss, makes a 2nd man miss. Looking for room is Fisher, and he's dragged down from behind, just way too far to go for the senior quarterback. Nice effort to pick up about 10, but unfortunately he needed more like 25.
Yes, he did.
Number 59, James Gleason on the tackle. First and 10 Bears.
So Holy Innocents probably needs 2, at least 1 first down, maybe 2 to put an end to this.
Yeah, I think that's about right. It's under 4 minutes now.
And it's in 25-second play clock, so if you're running that pace, about 2 plays a minute. So maybe just 1 first down. Although
I don't know. Yeah, we got some youth in there to grind it out, though.
Yeah. The clock's going to keep winding. The officials are taking their time talking. I think both teams are fine with that. Don't want any more injuries as we close out this game. Handoff up the middle. Didn't see who on the carry. We'll get you a name in a moment. Looked like 40 on the carry for the Gold Bears.
Joe Hingson.
Another freshman.
Number 58, Jacob Newberry.
So an impressive and successful home opener for the Golden Bears. It was a really nice crowd done, and it felt like that may have been as big as any crowd we saw last season. Good energy, and the boys put on a show for them.
Yeah, they did, and they got some momentum back, got the win.
Mm-hmm.
Have had 2 convincing wins. Now we'll see what Coach Winter said. You got to learn how to play every Friday. You got to learn how to handle success, and we're going to have a test in handling the success next week. But every Friday you got to line it up and play. So we'll see how we do down in McDonough.
Yep. And as we said, this is a Rutland team as they'll take the snap, pitch it out wide to Barton. Barton's got some room. He's going to cross the 20-yard line. Well, there was a flag on that last play, so it'll still be a good bid, but he'll make it a 2nd and 8.
Gain 7.
But, we mentioned Rutland struggling, hadn't won a game since 2016. So, Holy Innocents, you could overlook this team, but they didn't. They came out, they gave up an opening drive. They locked it down on defense. Offense hasn't punted the ball once today. Did have 1 turnover, but with some second unit guys. But, they came out, took care of business like a mature team would do.
Good defensive pressure tonight, too. I like that, because the quarterback looked good on the first drive, but ever since then, he's had to throw off his back foot. He's been rushed. He's been out of the pocket. And our front 4 has done a good job of making him move.
Hingson with the carry again. He picked up about 3 or 4, so it's a manageable 3rd down here for Holy Innocents. And if they pick up this first down, they should be able to just kneel it down. So we'll see who they go with. If it's Hingson or Smith. We did see Barton show some speed getting to the edge. We seen Barton's speed on a couple kickoff returns this year. Barton's the man in motion, but they give it up the middle, and I think Hingson is going to be close. It'll just depend on the spot. And they do move the chains.
That'll do it.
And that will finish it. Chains will set. They'll wind it. So next week, the region opener, as we just heard from the PA behind us, taking on Eagles Landing, and you know, that's a test, and you know, that's probably a good first region game.
Yes,
you know,
it is,
see
yeah.
where you are, get it out of the way, learn, and you know, the Bears haven't. The flag's going to come in for a hold, but you know, the Bears have the recipe where, you know, you can move the ball and you get a score too. You know, keep that Elk offense off the field, wind some clock.
I remember right, we ran.
What happens.
We moved the ball against them last year. We had that long drive we didn't finish.
Yep.
That was kind of our disease in some of the game. We'd run 8 minutes off the clock, but we never did get the final push.
Yep. And I also remember last year the same quarterback. You know, we let him break contain a couple times, and then it was kind of playground ball downfield. But wait a minute, a year older, you pick up a win like this, you go into that game expecting to win, expecting to compete, and you just see what happens.
Yeah, there you go. Go out, and if they're good, make them prove it.
Yep, absolutely.
That's what I used to say as a tennis coach. Okay, he's good. Keep it in play and let him prove it.
So this should be the last snap of the game. Handoff up the middle. Hinkson gets a bonus carry, picks up a few. A little extracurricular downfield. Everyone keeps cool heads.
And that should do it.
And that'll close us out. Final score 49-7. It was a second quarter explosion behind 4 Michael Cox rushing touchdowns that opened this one up. 49-7. Holy Innocents takes down Rutland, and a 3A opponent picking up some meaningful power ranking points.
Every game's just as important, and tonight got some bonus points. AAA school, and like you said, we'll get tested next week. Line up and go at Eagles Landing, who's already had a loss under their belt this year. They lost to Pace, and you know, anything can happen.
Absolutely.
And I know Coach Winter will have them ready. He doesn't.
He ain't scared of anybody. He's told us that plenty of times.
No, he ain't scared to go down there and lock and load.
So final score tonight, Holy Innocents 49, Rutland 7. Bears move to 2-1 on the season. They'll open region play next Friday night, taking on Eagles Landing Christian in McDonough. For Dunn Neugebauer, I'm Ned Case. Thanks to our entire crew tonight. Golden Bears go home victorious.
Mr. Vaughn!